Hey guys, my name is Bilo Afiz and welcome back to my channel. And in today's tutorial, I will show you on how to migrate my SQL database into an RDS instance using Flyway. And on the reference architecture on my screen, you can see how the resources are actually going to work. And for the resources we are going to need, we have the VPC, we have the NAT gateway, we have the security group, we have the EC2 instance endpoint, connect, EC2 instance, RDS, and S3 bucket. And explaining the reference architecture on the screen, you can see we have the cloud engineer who will be anybody trying to migrate the database or trying to access the EC2 instance. So the cloud engineer is going to use the EC2 instance connect service to actually access it into our EC2 instance. And from the EC2 instance, we're going to download all the files we need on our machine and actually do the migration into our RDS instance. And for this demo, we are going to have a demo VPC which will be 10.0.0.0/16, and we are going to have two availability zones which will span, and we are going to have two availability zones which will be for our resources. And in the first availability zone, we are going to have a public subnet, the web server subnet, and the database subnet, in which the only service we are going to have in our web server subnet will be the EC2 instance connect endpoint, and in the public subnet in the availability zone US East 1A, we are going to have the NAT gateway. And moving to the availability zone US East 1B, we are going to have the public subnet as well, the web server subnet, and the database subnet. So the web server subnet will host our EC2 instance that we are going to use, the machine we are going to use to migrate our database, and the database subnet will host the RDS instance itself. And we are going to have the security group. And in this tutorial, we are going to use Amazon S3. We are going to have some IAM policies in which we allow us to use the EC2 instance connect, and we are going to be able to use the EC2 instance to actually download the SQL files from our Amazon S3, and we are going to have the internet gateway. So, and for this tutorial, the thing is, I won't be creating a VPC because I already have a video on my channel that explains in details on how to create a VPC. But the only thing I will just do is to attach an internet gateway and actually attach a NAT gateway to this VPC. So without taking much of our time, let's dive into the tutorial. So we are now on AWS console. So the next thing we are going to do now is to go into our VPC, connect our NAT gateway and our internet gateway. So in the case, in the search button at the top, we type in VPC. So we double click on VPC. So on the left hand side there, we are going to filter with the demo VPC already created for this tutorial. So we click on this. So after that, we'll go into the VPC to see what we've created. We can check that via the resource map. So this is the resource. So this is what we have for now. We have the demo VPC, we have the subnet and the route table. So the next thing we're going to do now is to create the internet gateway and the NAT gateway and connect it to the VPC. So let's go to internet gateway. Click on internet gateway. We create internet gateway. We put a demo IGW, which stands for internet demo internet gateway. So we create the internet gateway. So after creating the internet gateway, we are going to attach it to the VPC, and we attach the VPC. So we've successfully attached the internet gateway to the VPC. So the next thing we are going to do is to route the public subnet to this internet gateway. So we go to route table. We go to, this is the public route table already created. We click on it. We scroll down to route, and we edit route. So it will be from 000, and we are going to change the internet gateway to this internet gateway, and we're going to click on the demo internet gateway we created. So we click on it and we save changes. So after doing that, next we are going to do is to go to our NAT table, NAT gateway, and create the NAT so we are going to create the NAT gateway. So we click on create NAT gateway. So first we are going to do is demo NAT gateway AZ1. The subnet, it will be in the public subnet AZ1, and we are going to allocate elastic IP. Since we've allocated the elastic IP, we create NAT gateway. So we click on NAT gateway and create the second NAT gateway. So we put in demo NAT gateway AZ2. That will be in the public subnet AZ2, which is this, and we'll allocate elastic IP. So we create NAT gateway. After creating the NAT gateway, the next thing we are going to do is go back to the route table and attach the NAT gateway to the route table, to the public, so the next thing we are going to do is go to the route tables and attach the NAT gateways to the private subnets. So go to route table, we go to private route table AZ1, we edit route, and we'll come to this, so we pick, we click on this and we'll go to NAT gateway, and we select the demo NAT gateway AZ1, and we click save changes. So we'll go back to the route table and click on private route table AZ2, we go to route and we edit route, and we attach NAT gateway, and we attach the demo NAT gateway AZ2 to it. Save changes, and we can go back to our VPC to check if everything is completed. So go to our VPC, we check the resource map, we can scroll down, we see the demo VPC, and we have the demo internet. So let's go to the other side so we can see everything clearly. So we have the demo internet gateway, which is attached to the public route table and the public subnet AZ1 and AZ2. We have the demo NAT gateway AZ1, which is connected to the private route table AZ1 and to the web server AZ1 and database subnet AZ1. And we have the demo NAT gateway AZ2 connected to the private route table AZ2 and the web server subnet AZ2 and database subnet AZ2. So we are done with creating the VPC. So the next thing we are going to do is to jump to the security groups and create the security groups. So we are going to create the security group. So we'll go to the left hand side and we'll scroll down. Under security, you are going to see security groups. And for the security groups, we are going to be creating 3 security groups for this tutorial. The first one will be the AIC endpoint security groups. We are going to have the web server security group, which will be the security group we are going to attach to our EC2 instance to do the migration. And we are going to have the RDS database security group as well. So we'll click on security groups. We'll go to create security group on the right upper corner of the screen. On that, the first security group we are going to create is the EIC. So we create EIC SG, which will be, the description will be endpoint EC2 endpoint connect security group. So we scroll down, we under VPC info, we pick the demo VPC we created, demo VPC, and for the inbound rule, we are going to leave the inbound rule like that. So we scroll down and we add, for the outbound rule, we are going to create SSH, and it will be custom, and the custom, for the custom IP we are going to use the VPC CIDR block IP, which is 10.0.0.0/16. So we click on it and we create security group. So we've created the first security. So the next one is the web server security group, which we are going to attach to the EC2 instance that we are going to use to migrate the database. So we'll go back, we'll create security group. That will be the, let's name it migrate server SG. So we'll copy the same name, copy it, add it to this, to the description, and we're going to choose the demo VPC. And for this, we are going to add an inbound row, and the inbound row will be from SSH. And for this, it will be custom, and we are going to choose the EIC endpoint we created. So we scroll down, we'll go to the EIC ESG. So we are going to click on it, and we are going to click save. So the last security group we are going to create for this video is the database security group. So we'll create security group, and we add this one to be database migrate database SG, in which this is the security group we are going to attach the RDS instance we are going to create. So we'll just copy the name and put it as a description as well, and we're going to select the demo VPC we created, demo VPC. And for the inbound row for this one, we are going to allow, that will be HTTP and that will be MySQL. I'm sorry, so we'll go down. So we go down and we are going to search for MySQL Aurora, and for the custom it will come from the web server security group we create. So we'll go down and we choose the migrate server security group, which is this, and after selecting that, we create security groups. So since we are done creating the security group, the next thing we are going to do is to create our RDS instance. So in the search button, we type RDS, double click on it, this is our RDS. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create a subnet group for our RDS. So we click on subnet group, we create database subnet. We just put database subnets group. That will be the name. Copy the name and add it to the description as well. And for the VPC, we are going to choose the demo VPC we created. This is demo VPC. For the availability zone to be US East 1A and US East 1B. If it is not already selected on your own account, you can just come to this place and you select it, so it's there. So we are going to select the subnet we want. So we are going to, for our reference, if you can remember in our reference architecture, we have the database subnet to be 10.0.0.4.0/24 to be the first database subnet in US East 1A, and for the database in the US East 1B is 10.0.5.0.0/24. So we mark that one as well, and we'll move on and we'll create our subnet. So our subnet is already created, which you can see database subnet group. So let's go to the dashboard and create our database. So we go to database, we click on create database, give it to standard create. So we scroll down. Since we are using MySQL engine for this, so we click on MySQL, we select the MySQL and we scroll down, and for the version we are going to use the latest version of the SQL MySQL engine. So we scroll down, and the latest version currently at this time of recording this video is MySQL 8.0.0.8.0.34. So we select it, and for this case of we are going to use dev/test. You can also choose the free tier, anyone. So we scroll down, we are going to choose a single DB instance. We are not creating a multi-AZ. So for this, we are going to put application DB. That will be the database instance identifier. So for the credential information, I'll put my name there, which is below, and I will put in my password and confirm master password. I will confirm it again, and I'm going to scroll down. And for this tutorial, the instance configuration is we are going to use the database instance class of T2 Micro. So we'll click on burst classes, and we include the previous generation. So we scroll down, we are going to choose the database T2 Micro. We scroll down. For the storage, it will be general purpose SSD, and the allocated storage will be 200. And we scroll down, we leave the rest as this. So when we get to this, we are going to choose our subnet. We choose this demo VPC subnet. We scroll down. For the security group, we are going to remove this default one. We are going to add the migrate database security group we created, which will be this one. So we click on it. Preference, we are going to have it in US East 1B. Scroll down, and the last one we are going to do is come to this additional configuration. Click on it, and we'll put our name there, which will put our initial database name, which will be, let's say, demo db. We scroll down, and everything should be good, and we scroll down and we'll create database. So our database is now being created, and it is going to take some minutes for it to be ready. So when it is up and running, we'll come back to the video. And so as you can see, our database is now available. So next thing we are going to do now is to create our S3 bucket and upload our database into the S3 bucket. So we are, and then we'll give. So to create the EIC endpoint, we're going to go to our search console. We type in VPC. So we double click on VPC. We double click on VPC. So when we get into our VPC, we scroll down, we'll go to the, let our dashboard load completely. So we scroll down, so we'll go to the endpoints. So it is on this dashboard we are going to create the endpoint. So we'll move to the right hand side where we see create endpoint. We click on create endpoint. It will just be, this one will be YT demo EICE. So we are going to select, for this service category, we are going to select EC2 instance connect endpoint. We are going to select our VPC, which will be demo VPC. So now we are going to choose our EIC SG. We are going to click our subnet. So we are going to put it in the web server subnet AZ1 as it is on our reference architecture. So we scroll down and everything is good, and we create endpoint. As you can see, our AIC is now active. You can see it's already available. So the next thing we are going to do now is to create our EC2 instance and add the necessary permissions to the EC2 instance to allow us SSH into it and copy all the files to the EC2 instance. So as you can see, our demo EIC is now available, and when you click on it, you can see available and it shows status, it's already available. So the next thing we are going to do now is to create the EC2 instance. We are going to attach the necessary permissions to it, so we'll be able to download the files on the machine and actually migrate to the database. So in the search console, we type EC2. So we are on the EC2 dashboard. So since we're in the EC2 dashboard, we are going to click on launch instance. So for this, it will be migrate server, migrate web server. We scroll down, we leave it on the Amazon Linux. We leave it with the latest AMI, which is Amazon Linux 2023 AMI, and it is free tier eligible. So we scroll down, we leave it to T2 Micro. We are going to, for the key pair login, we are going to proceed without a key pair. For the network setting, we click on edit. For the VPC, we are going to select the demo VPC we created, and we are going to launch it in the web server subnet AZ1 as it is on our reference architecture AZ2, web server subnet AZ2. For the auto assign public IP, we leave it at disable. We are going to select, for the firewall security group, we are going to select existing security group, and we choose the security group. So we are going to use the EC2 instance migrate. We scroll down, in the advanced details, we are going to add our IAM policy we created. So we are going to select S3 row. We scroll down and we click on launch. So our launch instance is initiating, and it has successfully initiated. So when we click on it, it will redirect us to the next page, in which we have our instance, to be in the pending state. So it's already in the running state, and it might take a while for it to initialize. So we are going to use it, we are going to check for the pass to pass. So our web servers, so the EC2 instance we created is now in the running state, and it is yet to pass the status check. So I'm going to pause the video now, and when it passes the status check, we are going to use our EIC endpoint to actually SSH into it and migrate the database. And now you can see on the status check, our EC2 instance has passed the status check. So the next to do is to SSH into the web server, and with that we are going to use the PowerShell. So we go to the search. So we go to the search console on our system. We type PowerShell. So we double click on PowerShell. Our PowerShell is up and running. So to actually SSH into the EC2 instance using the EIC instant connect endpoint, we're going to press in this command AWS EC2 dash instance dash connect SSH dash dash instance dash id space. We'll go to our instance, we'll click on it. We are going to copy the instance id. So after copying the instance id, we'll go back to our PowerShell and we'll paste it in, and it's already pasted. So we'll press enter. It's loading. It might take some minutes for it to actually SSH into the instance, so we'll give it time to load. And you can see, are you sure you want to continue connecting? We'll press yes, we'll press enter, and wow, we're already into our EC2 instance, which has the Amazon Linux 2023. So after we've SSH into our EC2 instance with the EIC endpoint, the next thing we are going to do now is to download the Flyway folder for the migration. So we'll go to the search console to actually get the Linux command to actually download Flyway. So we'll go to and we type in Flyway command. So Flyway command. So we'll go to this, click on this. So this is the Flyway documentation. So we scroll down, we search for, so this is the script we are looking for, which was download and extract and install by adding to this path. So we are going to copy this, and in case this is for Linux, so we'll copy it and we'll go back to the PowerShell and we'll paste it in. Sorry, it actually pasted twice. So let me delete this. Let me just delete everything at once and paste it in again. So I'm going to paste it in and I press enter. So it's going to download the Flyway folder on our, so it has completed the downloading, and we can check whether our Flyway has been downloaded successfully. So we press ls and you can see we have the Flyway 9.21.1. this is the version as at the time of recording this video. So let me clear it so we can see it very well. Clear ls, and you can see, and as you can see, this is the Flyway. So the next thing we're going to do is to actually go into the Flyway directory. So we'll press cd fly and we'll press tab. It's going to auto complete it, and we'll press enter. We can see the files in it, ls, and this is the files we have in it. So the next we're going to do is we are going to download the SQL file from our S3 bucket into this SQL folder. But for this case, what I always do is to delete this SQL folder because there are some files inside it. So for a safe migration, I will advise you to actually delete it. So we can type this command rm -rf sql. If you press ls, it has been deleted. We're going to create it again. Make directory sql ls, and if you go into it, it doesn't have anything. So we've created a brand new SQL folder for it. So we're actually going to cd into it. We're going to change our directory to the SQL cd SQL ls. You can see we don't have anything inside it. So the next we are going to do is to download the next we are going to do now is to download the SQL files into this SQL directory. So for that, I'll go into my system and get the command. So yeah, this is the command, and I'll open the note, and this is it. So this is it, and this is just the AWS command to download from to download from S3. So the next we are going to do now is we are going to go to our S3 and fill in the information needed. So we'll go back to this and we type in S3 into the search console. It's loading. So this is our bucket. So we click on the demo file. So we copy the demo file, we copy it and we use it to update the script, which is this. So come to this place and paste it in up to this place, this. And to get this directory, what you can simply do is go back to your PowerShell and type pwd, and you can see you can just copy this and use it to update the script. So we'll go back to the script, we'll copy this, even though it is the same. So paste, I'll copy the whole script, I'll come here and we paste it in. Voila, it has downloaded the demo SQL file. So let's check whether it is there. ls, you can see we have the demo SQL file.sql. So after downloading it, we are going to go back to the Flyway directory to do the migration. So we press cd dash dash and we're already in the Flyway directory. So we are going to copy this Flyway migrate command, and for this migrate command, for the next we are going to do is to update it. So this is the application. So we are going to go to our RDS, go back to the search console, press RDS, double click on it, go to our database. This is it. So we'll copy the endpoint, which is this. This is the endpoint. We'll copy it and we'll update this. From the application here, we just come to this, up to this point here, and we paste in. It has ready. And for this is actually how I got it. You go to your configuration and you can see DB name. So you copy the DB name, which is this. Go back to our script, and for this we're going to update it as well. And to get your password, to get your username, you can just go back to this, and this is your master username and this is your password you actually created at the beginning. So we'll go back to the script and update it with the user and the password. After doing that, we'll copy the whole script, we'll copy from the script. We are going to paste it into PowerShell, and after pasting it, we're going to press enter. It might take some minutes. You can see, and it said successfully validated one migration execution this time. Current version of schema demo is 1. Schema is up to date, no migration, so everything is already there, and that shows successfully validated one migration. And so this is how you migrate MySQL database into an RDS instance. So if you have any question on something that is not clear about the video, just drop it in the comment section. I'll actually respond to it. And thank you for taking time to watch the video.